Hello and welcome to another episode of Heavy Metal Muscle. Today, I'm going to try some Strongman. With Andrew.
Hey, I'm Andrew, and I'm here with Tully today, and Tully wants to use some of my equipment. I'm like a rookie strongman. Happy to have him here today, and let's see how it goes.
So, what should we start with?
So we got the log press set up. So the log's a common strongman exercise. The log clean and press starts from the ground, and then we'll clean it up to my lap. I'll bring it up to my chest and then overhead. This is a 10-inch log. And typically at Strongman in the men's divisions, they'll use a larger log, but this is all the one we have. So I'll go ahead here first, and then Tully can go after me. So I like to kind of grip the outside handles, and I like to kind of, when you grab it down and dip, I like to try and get my elbows up and get it high on my chest the best I can, and then drive up and then get my elbows underneath.
The crowd sounds.
Yeah.
Top that.
When we pick and get underneath, you want to bring your elbows up, get down,
here.
And then your handles this way with your elbows up, and then that focuses you. So I'm pushing my feet to drive, and like you're going to clean it and get your elbows underneath, and then you can press from there.
It's really high and out elbows.
Yes.
Did it. Yeah. It looks pretty cool though.
Yeah.
I'll try it again here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a different grip.
Definitely a different lift. I know some good guys like it with easy, so it took me about, I trained log because I did a strongman competition last summer. I did log twice a week for the better part of a year, and I finally got used to it. So, yoke?
Yeah, let's try that.
Let's try the yoke.
Not yoking around.
Yes. So, like I said, so when we get under the yoke, I like to think about getting everything really, really tight and positioned and braced before you pick it up. So I like to place the yoke, on my back or upper back, kind of like where you would keep it for like your regular high bar squat. And I like to feel like I'm going to pull the side bars in, and I'm going to push my elbows out. So I get nice and tight in my upper back, and then I push up. And then from my waist up, I'm keeping everything nice and tight and stable and braced in my core. And then I'm just in one position from my upper body. And then I just initiate my small steps at the hips. So small baby steps. What can happen if I take too big of a step? You can see the weight kind of sway. So you want to go nice fast little steps. And keeping everything nice and tight in my upper body.
We have to start swinging. It looks like you're like running away from an avalanche or something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so like little choppy steps. Bar. And you're doing neighborhood strongman to have a good relationship with your neighbors. Yeah.
All right. So here,
We kind of take up the street during the summer when we train. So.
it's just like we're like kids with the hockey. And the,
Yeah, for sure.
but haven't grown up.
Yeah.
Game on, Garth.
Good job. So nice and tight. Breathing in the belly, keeping everything nice and braced underneath it. And then that first step, and then just kind of there you go. Keep it nice and stable.
I used to be in a marching band.
Yeah.
Like teenage years.
Yeah.
And I was always thinking of the rolling step. You know what I mean? Like the march step? Because when you had a drum, you never went ta-tum, ta-tum. You always went with like the roll heel to be like smooth.
I can't speak from experience in the marching band, but like, hey, you you want to try some? Should we try some weight? Okay, let's throw. Go ahead. This will be so 185 is the yoke empty. So we got 90 and 90. So this is 365. Like I said before, I'm going to get my upper back nice and tight. I'm going to grab my handles tight here and pull in and push my elbows through, and then little steps.
Okay, so definitely not even just this weight. Those things you talked about are that much more critical.
Right, so yeah, that upper body nice and tight. Breathe in hard, brace in your core. And just that first little step. There you go. Good. Just like you've done it before. Well done. Let's decide. I know for myself too that like that bracing your core, like I said, that stability through your trunk and your upper body. Because like if you're kind of loosey-goosey and that weight's heavy and you're stepping funny, all of a sudden you're more prone to injury, and obviously you're not going to move very fast or well with it. So
yeah, and like the weight distribution between your left foot and right place you're stepping is so critical. Once it's like, took like the first time I took a little bigger step, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Feel it.
Wow. Yeah. So it's kind of for me. When I started like a year or so ago for Strongman, and then prepping for the competition I did last August, it was the yoke and the farmer's handles ended up being my favorite event to train for. Just moving. Maybe it's because like my powerlifting history in the past, like I make the joke before, like I used to compete in powerlifting in a sport where you don't move your feet. From learning, so you have to lift heavy weights still, but now you have to move with it. So it ended up being a lot of fun.
The competition, since there's like a speed component, how fast would you be getting on it and going?
So so when you compete, you got to set up and get ready, and then the judge or the referee there says athlete ready, and then when you tell him you're ready, he says go, the clock starts.
Okay.
So it's an event for speed, right? So all the athletes kind of do their run, and the fastest time wins.
Okay, so you don't have to like go like Le Mans start or something.
Yes, no, they will say athlete ready. So at that point, I would get underneath it, position myself. The referee will give you a cue, and they're either going to say you'll just nod yep or just say yes, and then they say go, and then that time starts and away you go. The lower body making the movement. There you go. Nice.
So it takes some time to go like bigger steps, go fast.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think it's that first baby step. Those baby steps are first, because I think you take, like you said, you take too wide of a step, then all of a sudden you're off balance, right? So
and that time I could feel that I took a little bigger step. That trunk stability you talked about all of a sudden felt really important.
Yes, for sure too. And
because you have to stabilize from doing this or this.
It's easy to not worry about the trunk stability as much when it's lighter, but when you get into that more serious, heavier weights, that stuff is critical, because you're going to be all over the place, and then you're also, like I said, you're put yourself in a position where if you're not being stable, you're susceptible to injury at that point. So
yeah. I think the path of your leg is super critical to not like buckle.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
That's why I don't think I would do this as much.
Just gonna say.
And thanks again for doing this.
Yeah, of course, man. Okay. 1, 2.
Yeah, go! Cowbells and everything.
Have a dog goes wild! Just remember that big brace in your core. Those stable little steps when you first start.
Yeah, the stability of the trunk. I'm already even feeling it. Pick it up. It's like, okay.
Breathe into the belly and then keep that tight the whole time. There you go. There you go. And once it gets going, there you pick up your speed. Nice.
That's hard to go fast.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's sure different.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yes.
Fun. It's different, right?
Feels like I have to look at the point in the distance. It's like
Yeah.
steady for it.
That is a good one too, and I should actually mention that is a common cue. That maybe a disclaimer that I'm not an actual coach. You probably could tell already, but yeah, to look for these moving events, like looking towards or looking through your finish line, and then just keeping yourself moving right through that until you're done, right? Until you get there.
Well, it's fun to try something just that heavy. That extra little bit heavier all of a sudden makes all those cues you brought up.
Well, it's interesting
way
too,
more.
it's like think about like, okay, let's, because a lot of people in the gym have kind of unracked a heavy barbell for a big squat. It's like, okay, unrack that heavy squat, now run with it. So it's a little different. Yeah.
Awesome. So I don't know if you know, when they do the cake toss, and then whoever can puck at the highest.
And I'm just trying to, because I'm so new, I kind of think of it as like a kettlebell swing, and then you kind of drive your hips and extend, kind of like that whole extension through your posterior chain and everything kind of up and kind of over and back, right? So I'm very new to this one, but we'll give it a go.
Hands out.
Yeah. Do a few here and see how you think. We'll give her a go here. I like to just kind of get around, make sure it's nice and level.
Yeah.
So like the weight of the sand inside isn't lopsided at all. And then kind of like you're doing a kettlebell swing, so I'll do like the 1 or 2 rep for that. And then drive everything through the hips and let go up here. Kind of using that momentum and your trajectory to get it up.
Did you
back?
Did you kind of have your knees doing a little bit of a pop?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, now it's like when you watch it, all of a sudden you're about to do. You're like, wait, what did you do that part?
Yeah. So I know it's usually like to get a little momentum, kind of like to throw it up once, let it come back, and then up.
Ooh. What? Something.
Yeah. And then really focus on like pushing that butt back, and then driving through that real extension, everything from your hips up
Really
back.
pop.
Yeah. Harder than it looks, right? It's not a very heavy weight, but using that, it's that explosive power we talked about earlier. You really got to kind of.
Yeah, because there's like, I'm like, wait, this feels
Yeah.
totally wrong.
Yeah, so your audience is just going to pretend there's this super high bar up in the sky that you just like launched it over. Yeah.
In post, we'll add that CG.
Yeah, for sure. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, we'll add some graphics to that.
Yeah, it's fun to try something totally different.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of like what got me into this stuff is like, it was very humbling. All right. There you go. We're going the right way there now.
I want to have the nice.
Yeah, you got to get it out
Finish.
there. Yeah, and you know what? I think, especially for beginners, just to maybe we'll make a note. This is 35 pounds, which is for a couple beginners like ourselves, it's a pretty heavy bag for throwing. Maybe if we started with 25, would be a little better. So, it's,
Your posterior chain pop is very
yes,
interesting.
yeah, for sure. That driving that, extending your hips through, pushing your hips back, driving them through, and then everything moving together up top. That's better. Yeah. We're going the right way.
Finished.
Yeah.
That time.
As a strength athlete, I haven't been in a deficit since about 2013.
Nice.
So, yeah. Okay, hey, so we're gonna we'll do a few Atlas stones here, or at least give them a try. We'll see how it goes. Kind of like the premier strongman event that I think most of us are kind of used to. I think if you've heard or seen any strongman at all, you kind of think, oh yeah, the big concrete stones the big guys lift, right?
Even the name Atlas Stone.
Yeah, so the Atlas stone is traditionally done in like, I guess they would call like an ascending order, where they kind of lift lighter stones to a high platform, and then there's usually a run of 5 stones, done for time, fastest time wins, right? So the guy that gets all 5 stones up onto those platforms wins the event. And so it's always been a fun and exciting one to watch. Like I said, most people kind of like recognize that as the kind of the strongman event. So I guess today, man, we'll just try and do a couple of these over the bar. Not the ideal Atlas stone setup, but this is what I got. So,
it'll do.
So yeah. So anyways, I like to kind of stand, with my feet kind of just at the back side of the stone, and then like a little outside, a little outside the stone, and then just being straight over top of it. And I like to have to kind of make my hands nice and big, wide fingers, spread them out the most I can, and I kind of on either side of it, try and get in the center, because if you're not centered really good, once you start to kind of pick up, you'll find it may try to roll forwards or backwards on you. We're not using any tacky today. We're not using super heavy stones, and we're not going to get into that messy stuff. Maybe another video down the road, Tully and I can try that. So anyways, I'm going to just get my hands big. I'm going to roll back and forth to try and get underneath it, and then I'm going to push myself. I always like to cue pushing my feet down through the earth underneath me. And I'm gonna brace really hard and get it onto my lap. And then when it's on my lap, I usually like to kind of reposition my arms and pull it into myself nice and tight. And as I push, I like to raise my hips a little bit, and then we extend up and over the bar. So hopefully I do everything I said and I just pop this up okay. No
Interesting that you said about, by the way, like rotating this. Yeah. I was just thinking about it slipping through my hands, not about it like...
Yeah,
so
I find too, like if you kind of back a little further back or a little further forward, it kind of will try to roll away from you. And doing it dry without tacky and not having that stick on it,
we're doing it raw.
It's an easy thing. It's an easy thing to get away from you. So
yeah.
Let's just see here. So back and forth a little bit to get underneath it, nice and good.
A little bit of foreplay.
Up onto my lap, okay there. And then onto the pad. So,
easy breezy, beautiful.
Yeah, not so bad. That's all you can give it a go. Ooh. Okay, down. Whoa. There you go.
A slight bit of jump and weight is definitely
a little bit a little heavier, right? And then brow for extension. Nicely done. Good for another rep there, maybe?
Yeah.
What do you think? Good job, eh?
Yeah, it's tricky. You really gotta, not only is this around, but you gotta pull in as hard as you can.
And one thing I find too, depending on like,
different.
Especially like, I guess like in an event, guys are gonna be thinking about kind of where that stone is in relation to like maybe the platform they're lifting up to or the bar that they're lifting over. Because I know for myself too, once upon a time I was always setting myself too back, and all of a sudden I'm holding the stone back here. Yeah, you got to try and get it over. So so many little things to think about, kind of in your positioning of where you're going to want to be. That's going to set you up to do, like in the case of Strongman, you're going to want to be able to do it as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Right.
So you got to know the setup, how far out back.
Exactly.
From
all those little things to think about. Where your hand's going, where is the stone in relation to where it's going, and then getting it up and over as fast as you can.
Who knew? Strongman is a thinking man's sport.
Yeah. We're not just dumb meatheads. We're meatheads that got to think a little. Yeah.
Coordinated meatheads.
Yeah. Okay, so I think one more thing we'll try is we'll do in the sandbag shoulder. That's kind of a Strongman nowadays has a lot of different sandbag events, so I figured we could try this one here today with Tully. So we're just going to do, like the stones, we're going to kind of pick the sandbag up off the floor. We're going to get big hands, try and wiggle it a little bit to get a good grip underneath the bag. We're going to bring it up to our lap and then try and extend all the way up to our shoulder with one hand off, and then that's usually at that point when you get a down command from a referee, or if you're just doing it as a training exercise, up to the shoulder, stable with one arm, back to the ground, and then so maybe we're trying to do a bunch of reps in a minute, or just doing as many as we can for a conditioning exercise. But
yeah, it's like a high reps conditioning exercise.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's like my sport.
Yeah, conditioning. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so big hands, wiggle underneath. I usually kind of I wiggle a little bit and kind of get the sandbag kind of touching my toes, and then you try and get it nice and close. So up onto the lap again, and then I'm gonna kind of squeeze the bag nice and tight into myself, and then kind of start to push into the ground, raise my hips a little bit, and then extend up onto my shoulder, and then off. We'll pop a couple here, do some on the other side.
be the judge.
Down. Good lift. Thanks, man. Polly's gonna give it a go too.
And so when you got it here, and you start bringing it up, then you kind of use the momentum to pop over
Yeah,
your
for
shoulder.
sure. So instead of kind of heaving it, thinking about kind of keeping it nice and close,
Yeah.
and extending through your hips and getting everything up together.
Okay. A bit of foreplay by doing it on the toes.
Yeah. Get that nice grip under your hands underneath.
Yeah. Into myself.
Nice. Down. Hey. There
Try the other side. What? Nope.
Yeah, it's
Uncoordinated.
Yeah, it's just like, and that is like, you know, all these events, like, you know.
There we go.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, there's like the strongman events, there's always these like specific little nuances that you don't get from just like lifting weights in your training in the gym, right? Like the barbells, the dumbbells, the machines, like, you know, it's kind of like, it just goes to show like strength ends up being this specific skill set you
Yeah.
develop over practice, right?
It's cool to see this application where it's
Yeah.
like holistic body compound movement.
Yes.
Vice versa,
Yeah.
all these isolation stuff that you're really trying to build.
Yeah.
to
And I think
sculpt, but
that's-
it's really cool to try something in a strength context for whole body movement.
Exactly, and that's kind of like the thing that really kind of drew me was the strongman was like, you know, years of powerlifting kind of showed some holes in my game. I was really good at squatting, bench pressing, and deadlifting, but then you got into these unique things where I was strong in a real specific skill set, and then I got to strongman. It's like I didn't have that skill set, and that's what we're working on now. So, you know, hopefully over time I can kind of continue to improve, and it's really kind of motivated me to get better.
Right on.
Yeah.
So I'll teach you one bodybuilding pose.
Yeah,
We'll
sure,
call it.
for sure. I should have wore short shorts because my legs are my strong suit. I'm not going to go shirtless today. Maybe Tully has the guts for that, but I know, yeah, YouTube is not going to see my one pack.
I'm bulking, so I'm not sure if we're quite ready. Yeah. For my intro is me cut, so
Yeah.
it's like, no.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny how that, like, people, his watchers are like, is that the same guy? Yeah.
But at least I'm showing that people bulk
Yes.
in between these things.
It is, yeah, and that
So
is-
maybe I should.
That is important for the bodybuilding. That maybe new people to the sport. It's like, yeah, like people don't walk around stage ready like that. Yeah.
No, and then people try to have like abs all year round. It's like, well, how are you gonna get bigger for your next show?
Yeah.
So all right.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, sweater was looser a couple months ago. All right. So I'll show you the side chest because that's
Okay.
always a super fun
For
one.
sure.
You have the one foot in the middle of the other, and yeah, on your tippy toe because you want to build that like flex that calf.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
you just
There's
bend
a
this-
really flex, strong calf under the sweatpant here. Yeah.
It's popping through,
Yeah.
and you just bring it down just a little bit so it creates one line from behind, from the side.
Right. Okay.
And you squeeze your legs together.
Okay.
So the more they squeeze, you get that separation there.
Okay. I can actually feel that a little bit too. I swear, it looks really good under the sweatpants.
And then don't think lift because you don't want this hamstring to fire.
Oh, I gotcha.
So
Okay.
just push down and then knees out, thinking
Yeah.
to get your glutes
Okay. Oh
activated.
yeah, yeah. I can feel that there now too. Actually, this is new to me, man. Okay.
And then you reach forward
Okay.
and bring your shoulders back and vacuum your stomach as you're going.
Yeah.
Clasp, and then bring back. And smile for the camera.
Smile. I'm good at the smile.
Yeah.
For sure. That's actually kind of cool, man. I've never done that. Let's do another one.
You want to do the double bicep you said at the end of
Yeah,
your
for sure. Yeah,
deadlift or this?
yeah. Front double by.
So I don't like doing just straight
Yeah. Okay.
because you could just stand like this. You always want a slight bend and out.
Right.
So that way your quads always look good.
Yeah.
But I kind of like one leg up just a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
So then I kind of like to pose on an angle,
Right.
which is the more aesthetic looking than just
I
big.
think so too. Okay. Yeah.
And similar to like Arnold when he was like,
Yeah,
that
for
kind of
sure.
thing. But so you want to have your lats out
Okay.
as much as you can.
Okay.
So you create that big wide look.
For sure.
So think like reach up and do a lat pull down,
Okay.
and then kind of think like I kind of have my hands slightly open, like I'm summoning magic or something.
Okay. Yeah.
And
It's like a
pushing the
sorcerer,
orbs.
like doing a spell.
Yeah, and you're
Yeah.
pushing the orbs
Okay.
together of force and looking to your right to follow the line you're creating.
Pete's laughing at us.
And boom. That's
Okay.
the front
So
double
let me try
bi.
it again. So if I was standing forward, I kind of like that. So to the side, up a little bit on one,
Yeah.
and then kind of like pull my probably like vacuum in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to sucking in. When you got guys with bellies are used to sucking in, so suck in and then up like a lat pull down, and I like that angle. And I'm gonna look up to the sky and smile.
Yeah,
awesome for
I'll
sure.
show you the 1/4 turn too.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
awesome.
Because you're like the front relaxed.
Yeah,
and then you do a 1/4 turn. The 1/4 turn, you just have it just slightly offset your feet. Same thing as the side chest, putting them together and all that. And that kind of thing, just almost weight to your toes, just so you can feel the lift to get your calves to go.
right.
And then you have your right biceps flexed into your pec,
Okay.
and then don't flex the left pec.
Okay.
And then kind of like showing up the tricep. A little bit of bicep.
Okay.
So you're like this.
There's a tricep under that sleeve. I swear.
Vacuum.
Yeah.
And
then do I turn?
Yeah. And then you look to the side because you're so cool that you know what's going on.
Yeah. For sure.
That's it.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah, likewise. And thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, support me by using my Redcon affiliate code below, and I'll catch you next time on Heavy Metal Muscle.
Thanks.